Hi, welcome to my channel where we talk about all things weird and disturbing around the internet. I cover missing persons cases, true crime, internet anomalies, and rabbit holes. I'm your host, Lavender. Now let's get into the video. Today we'll be talking about a case I have been following since it first broke in the media. A pair of young siblings go missing from their Nova Scotian residence in Canada. It is the case of Jack and Lily Sullivan. I wanted to spread awareness on the case and shed light on new details. So let's start from the beginning. There's not much known about Jack and Lily's childhood. The information I could find is from an interview that their biological paternal grandmother did, Belinda. So let's get into that. Lily was born March 22nd, 2019. She was the first child to Malaya Brooks and Cody Lee Sullivan. Jack was then born October 29th, 2020. It's reported that Cody and Malaya's relationship lasted a duration of 3.5 years. But towards the end of the relationship, Malaya had confided in Belinda, stating that she wanted to leave the biological father of the children, Cody. She said her reasoning was because she was unhappy. Following the separation, it was super easy for Belinda and Cody to get a hold of the kids. I'm not sure what happened in between this time, but Malaya had petitioned for full custody of the children, and unfortunately he did terminate his parental rights at that time. It is presumed that he hadn't seen Jack since he was before a year old, and Lily was only about 3 years old. Belinda also states that she had not seen the children up to a year and a half prior to the disappearance. Shortly after the separation, she started being romantically involved with a man named Daniel. It's reported that they had been together 3 years prior to the disappearance, and that they had moved to Lansdowne 2 years prior to the disappearance. This is something I just wanted to add in as a part of the background. I couldn't find any official documents on this, but I did find multiple news sources reporting it, that Jack had reported to school with 2 black eyes, prompting a CPS investigation on the family. Unfortunately, tragedy would strike May 2nd, 2025. I have broke down a timeline of events from that day and forward up to this point. Let's break them down now. The morning of Friday, May 2nd, 2025, the stepfather Daniel and the mother Malaya had reportedly been laying in their bed in their residence in Nova Scotia. They stated that Lily had been in and out of their bedroom all morning and that they could hear Jack in the kitchen. After this, it was followed by silence. Malaya reported the children missing around 10:01 a.m. and the police arrived on the scene at 10:27 a.m. The children were presumed to have gone missing from their home and wandered off into the woods in Lansdowne Station. The stepfather believes that the children may have slipped out of their sliding glass door. He also reports that the door is silent and it would have been hard to hear from their bedroom. It's also important to note that the surrounding area of the house is very thick woods and brush. The last time the children were witnessed was May 1st. Both Jack and Lily were seen at a shopping center with their family. It's also important to note that the children had not attended school Thursday or Friday due to an illness, and also they did not attend school Wednesday due to a teacher development day. So the RCMP did act swiftly in lieu of this information that had came out. By 12:25, they had released a statement to the public asking for any information about the case. It was also stated that foul play was not believed to be involved. At 4:45, the RCMP made contact with the public once again and urged them to stay away from the surrounding area where the search was being conducted. May 3rd. Going into the morning of May 3rd, there was about 100 volunteers searching. The search efforts included ground searches, drone searches, dog searches, and helicopter searches around the surrounding area. Due to any lack of evidence, the RCMP did issue a missing persons alert to a wider area, including 3 surrounding counties. This is also the first time, if not the only time, Malaya Brooks appeared on the news. Reporting what I have found across forums on the internet, it seems as a lot of people are pretty suspicious of her due to this interview and her reaction. Many people believe she shows zero emotion or really anything. She seems pretty monotone to a lot of people. May 4th. The search is ongoing. An estimated 160 volunteers were actively searching despite challenging weather conditions, such as heavy rain. May 5th. The search continues 24/7, and thermal drones are deployed to see if maybe they could see the children. The RCMP also tells CBS News that they found a footprint which may pertain to the case, and the footprint was found along a pipeline trail. May 6th. The child's stepfather does a news interview with CBS News. He tells them that the child's mother has left the area, presumably to be with family. He also states that he had been blocked on all social medias. This is allegedly from an argument between the two families. As mother, she tells CBS News, and I quote, "We're just hoping and praying for the best." She also states that the police had advised them to not speak to the media. May 7th. The RCMP declares a scale back in the search. Unfortunately, they believed at this point that the children were deceased due to lack of evidence and the wide amount of ground covered, equaling 4 square kilometers or 2.8 miles. May 8th. The RCMP takes down their command post in Lansdowne Station, and most searchers leave the surrounding area. Daniel has been cooperative. He offers up his phone and offers to take a polygraph test. At this point, the family home had been searched, and underwater searches take place this day as well. The information, because the RCMP did take their command post down at this point, does get a little spotty with the reporting, so I did condense the information into a couple dates. May 9th through 15th. Searches continue, though there's not as much manpower as there was in the beginning of the searches. The police locate their efforts other places by conducting interviews. 35 interviews took place up to this point, including community members, family members, and friends. May 16th. This marks 2 weeks since the official disappearance of the children. Search efforts are designated for the next day. Multiple volunteers aid in search and rescue efforts. May 17th. Over 100 searchers recover and expand the search area. Daniel also stays in contact with the media on this day. May 18th. Search efforts continue but are expected to wrap up around 8 p.m. The RCMP tells the media that search efforts are not expected to continue into the next day. May 20th. Melissa Scott, a local resident in Lansdowne Station, is asked for the footage on 7 of her trail cameras on her 40-acre property. It is then promptly handed over on May 22nd. May 30th. Daniel speaks to the media again. RCMP tells the media that searches will continue into the upcoming weekend, focused more on where the footprint was found on the trail. It is also stated that the police department does not definitively know that this is linked to the case, but, and I quote, "It is all we have to go on." May 31st. 75 volunteers searched the surrounding area condensed to the footprint found on the pipeline trail. June 1st. Searchers report burnout due to extensive searching and lack of evidence. The search is expected to suspend Sunday night. Following this, the searchers returned home to regroup with their families. June 18th. On this day, the paternal grandmother, Belinda, speaks with the media for the first time. She speaks out because she wants to keep the case in the public eye. She states that the police had shown up to the residence to ensure that the children were not inside, and then promptly left. On Saturday, she, along with her sister, had attended searches. She briefly spoke with Malaya, inquiring on where the children normally played in the yard, as to know where she should have a starting point. After a couple hours of searching in the woods, she states, "I could not see the children in those woods." She believes this due to the thick brush and the terrain in the surrounding area. She also states that Malaya seemed to be in a state of shock due to her flat affect, monotone nature, and lack of emotions. She states that Malaya was a wonderful mother and always motherly. She never even raised her voice at the children. The police interviewed both Belinda and Cody, with frustration from Cody and cooperation from Belinda. Cody was frustrated because he had not seen the children in 3 years and believed he was a suspect in the case. Both Belinda and Cody were cleared following their interviews. June 19th. Daniel is administered a polygraph where he is asked if he killed the children. He says no, and he is informed that he passed. Daniel also claims that there was a piece of Lilly's blanket found in the initial days of the search. He also states that there is more evidence, but he cannot speak on any of that. July 18th. The step-grandmother of the children, Janie McKenzie, speaks in an interview. She states that she lives on the property with the children. The morning of the disappearance, she heard the dog barking, which was a telltale sign of the children playing. She also says that she heard the children briefly, followed by silence. She then heard Danielle yelling for the children and observed Malaya with their baby daughter on her hip in the driveway and Danielle standing close by. Malaya was reportedly gone for 20 minutes before telling Janie that the children had gone missing. Janie then grabbed her boots and searched the surrounding area. She shares her story to shed light on the case. Now, unfortunately, up to this point, there has been minimal updates in the case. I did jot down a few, so we'll go over them. These are updates that have came out in recent weeks that I thought were important to the case. In the early days of the investigation, the RCMP seized all electronics used by Daniel and Malaya on the dates of May 1st and May 2nd from the times 2:25 p.m. to 10:27 a.m. when the police arrived on the scene. The police have also accessed bank records and transaction history. Both Malaya and Daniel were subjected to polygraph tests where they subsequently passed, totaling 6 polygraphs conducted so far in the investigation. Malaya has stayed out of the public eye and the media. Danielle and Malaya have not spoken since May 3rd, and unfortunately the only evidence that has been released to the public that has been found is a piece of Lilly's blanket and a footprint that has been unidentified and is not definitively linked to the case. Unfortunately, there has been minimal updates following these, and the children remain missing to this day. On the date that I record this video, it has been 115 days since the children have been missing. If you have any information regarding this case, I have the proper agencies to contact in the show notes of this video as well as on screen right here. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this case. I really appreciate you stopping by. Stay safe out there.